Alright, so what's up everyone now, welcome back to the channel. Now today, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts and opinions on Call of Duty Vanguard. I've had the opportunity to play the alpha, I've played for a couple of hours. I didn't want to play it for too much time because I don't really think there's that much to experience in the alpha. But I just wanted to share some things that I'm currently feeling about this game, some thoughts and opinions. This is going to be more of a chilled commentary. I'm going to be listing stuff off the top of my head. This isn't a definitive list about everything I'm feeling about Vanguard. So if I do miss anything out, leave a comment down below and we can have a discussion down there. But just before we begin, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to miss any future Vanguard videos that I will be making, the multiplayer reveal is going to be in the next week or two, and the beta should be in about a month now. So I'm going to be making videos when those happen. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and with all out of the way, let's just get right into the video. So the first thing I want to do is talk about the mode Champions Hill. This is obviously what the alpha is based around. It's like the Modern Warfare alpha, where it's just the gimmick mode, basically the alpha. It's just to give us a little tease of the game before the beta. And honestly, I do think this mode is a good gimmick mode. It is exactly like Gunfight in the sense that it's just the gimmick mode of the game. But I don't think, also like Gunfight, it will stick with the Call of Duty fan base. I just think this is, once again, just one of those gimmick modes that, like, you'll probably play the alpha and maybe play it on the launch, and then you just won't touch it again. I don't hate the mode. The way it works is, it is quite fun, it is quite interesting, but it can also promote camping in the sense that it is life-based. People seem to like camp in their spawn and, you know, are very protective of their lives, so that does make it a bit frustrating to play, but it's still a fun game mode. I just don't think I'll play it again because it's not as relevant as 6v6 in my opinion. I hope that Sledgehammer recognize this as well, and they don't make too many like extra maps of Champions Hill. I just kind of hope that they launch with it, maybe release a couple more experiences and kind of leave it, because I think they need to realize that 6v6 is what people care about, to be honest. But anyway, before we start talking about the good and the bad of Call of Duty Vanguard, I want to show you guys this tweet on screen, which is from Sledgehammer. This came out yesterday, and they mentioned how they've already got a list of things that they are addressing. So the first one is visibility when damaged. This was going to be a negative, in the sense that when you get damaged, your screen just goes really blurry and black and white. You can't see a thing. Spawn tuning, map visibility, audio mix tuning, and nameplate visibility issues are all issues, once again, with the game. They're more like bugs as opposed to like actual features, I would say. And aim assist through destructible walls, once again, that is a bug. It's glad, I'm happy that they're actually addressing these things this quickly and are talking about it, but I hope they can actually talk more and focus more on actual core issues of the game as opposed to just bugs. So it's good to see that they're doing this, but there are a few things that I want to talk about today that I do think are genuinely bad. But we're going to start off with the good. This is just going to be a list of things that I'm going to blast through, because obviously the bad is more criticism, whereas the good is just I'm listing off what I like. So the first thing, this game feels like Modern Warfare with the World War II skin on it, essentially. I know a lot of people will say that it does have a slight different feel, like you can tell the difference, but for me personally, it does feel exactly the same as Modern Warfare, and there is a reason for that. It's under the good. That's a great thing, because Modern Warfare's engine and its like movement mechanics, I think, are perfect. I know a lot of people don't like tac sprint. I've heard a lot of people complain about ruining controllers. I personally don't have that issue because I use Series 2 Xbox controllers. The RB and the LB break before we have a stick issue, so I'm not too fussed about that. But yeah, the movement mechanics and the feel of Modern Warfare is perfect, so them carrying it on with this game is beautiful. I'm talking more about the feel of the game and not features like mounting and the mini-map and doors, which we're going to be talking about a little bit later. But yeah, just the actual feel of the game, it feels beautiful. Ghost works exactly how it should, where it only works when you're moving, which is perfect. Obviously, this is how it should have worked in Modern Warfare 2019. This definitely promotes camping in these games, and it's a good thing that they're not doing it this time. Recoil actually seems to exist in this game as well, which adds a good skill gap. With the gunsmith, it might eliminate this, where like if we actually have our like full, you know, pro recoil sort of builds, if that makes sense, it might just negate this point completely. But it feels like these guns actually have recoil, unlike say the Cold War guns in Warzone, so this is definitely a bonus. Another thing as well, footstep audio is pretty quiet, unlike Modern Warfare, so people need actual awareness and not just sitting there with the headsets cranked up, which is a great thing. And finally, destructible environments is very good for for Call of Duty, sorry. I just don't think it should be overdone. I don't think literally every single wall in the map should be destroyed and wall bangable and all of these different things. I think it should just be a sort of limited thing, not as limited as Ghosts with that game's Levolution, but it just should be a bit toned down, because with these Champions Hill maps, they are very destructible. Like, almost any wall that is man-made and isn't like a rock, you can shoot through, you can run through. So I just hope the actual maps don't end up like this. But the destructible environments thing is definitely a very cool feature, and I like to see that. Okay, now we're going to talk about the bad. The first thing is the depth of field. This does sort of come under map visibility and visibility when damaged, but it is also its own thing. This game does look really good. I think a lot of people are mistaking this. The game does look good. Like, the graphical fidelity of this game is really nice. But the problem is two things, actually. The first one is the depth of field, which, you know, when you look far away, it just looks really blurry and shit. I don't really know why. And the second thing is the color palette of these maps. It's a very, like, gray, brown, you know, sort of color palette with these maps. And it's a nice aesthetic if it's just limited to Champion Hill. I know in the early campaign gameplay we got, there was like the flashback bit towards the end, and it looked really colourful. It had, you know, whites and pinks and, you know, greens. It looked really luscious and, like, beautiful. I hope that carries over to the 66 maps and not this sort of like browny grey sort of aesthetic. Modern Warfare's engine is really beautiful, but it did have an issue with the sort of dull colours. And I'm hoping this game does fix that, so fingers crossed. The next thing is the sound design. I've seen a lot of people say that they do think the sound design is really good. I've seen a lot of people saying that the sound design is really ass. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't think the sound design is as good as Modern Warfare, but I don't think it's bad per se. I think it's sort of, it sort of reminds me of World War II, especially with the DP-27. That's the main gun that pops into my mind. It sounds like not very powerful. It sounds very sort of toy gun like, whereas with Modern Warfare the sound design was out of this world. It was just amazing, but in this game they haven't carried that over, which is kind of disappointing. So I don't think that's something they're going to be looking at or fixing. That's just a criticism that I have. Another thing is the mini-maps, the mounting, and the doors. They're all the same as Modern Warfare, which is, obviously, we were talking about that earlier with the features. The minimap needs to change, man. I mean, why did they change this in Modern Warfare? We were complaining about it through the entire life cycle of the game, and it's going to be the exact same story for this game. They need to change this for the beta. If not, the launch of the game, this needs to change. I know that I need to be respectable when conveying my opinions. I'm trying the best I can, but this is a feature that nobody likes. It just encourages slower gameplay because people require intel for fast-paced gameplay, and if you take that away from them, then they're not going to be moving as much. So I just think they need to revert this. The minimap needs to work the same way it does in literally every COD ever. The mounting and the doors aren't as big of issues. Mounting does sort of promote camping with the whole recoil bonus that it provides, but doors I feel a bit indifferent on. They can be destroyed in this game, which is definitely a bonus, because you can just, if you don't like a door, you just blow it up. That's funny. But mounting and doors, I know are generally sort of looked down upon, so I just wanted to throw that in here. I don't think mounting should be in any game ever, but I guess it's here to stay. And also, sort of links to that, please, please, please do not add any camo challenges that require mounting or blind firing. We'll be talking about blind firing after this point, but the main thing in Modern Warfare that promoted camping, in my opinion, was the camo challenges. I am a grinder. I like to go for the Mercenary camo, and if I have to sit there and mount and get long shots and do all these stupid camping promoting challenges, I hate it. It's not fun. So if we could just get camo challenges that are just like get 50 kills and no attachments, or get some long shots, or get some headshots, instead of mount and blind fire and all these annoying features, it's going to be painful if they add them in. So I'm just hoping there's no camo challenges that require you to mount, and I swear to God, if I see taking cover kills, I'm gonna lose my shit. But anyway, let's talk about blind firing. This seems pointless, to be honest. It literally just looks like hip fire mounting. You sort of mount onto the surface, but you hip fire, and it's... I don't get what the point of this is. Like, it's really dumb in my opinion. It's not like mounting where it's going to promote camping and, you know, it's all this and all that. It just seems really, really pointless. Like, I thought it was going to be like you sit behind cover, you stick your gun over the cover, you only have your arms exposed, and you just shoot. You can't see what you're shooting at, hence the term blind firing. But no, you just it's hip fire mounting, which just seems really dumb. They should either just get rid of this feature, which would be my suggestion, or make it so it's actually blind fire. Because if you know somebody's coming, let's say you're being chased, you run around the corner and you kind of blind fire it in anticipation of them coming. That's how I'd imagine blind fire working. But I suppose you could do that now, but you'd want to expose less of yourself, and it doesn't really like work. I don't know. Let's just move on. It's really dumb. So that's going to do it for everything that I have to talk about with the alpha. Overall, if you want my overall opinion on Vanguard, I think it's going to be a good game. There are obviously a lot of features on here that I've talked about and said I don't like as much. There's also a lot of good though, and I think just once again it's going to be one of those things where if the game isn't good, the engine can sort of carry the game, which is sort of what happened in Modern Warfare. I don't want to talk too much about it. The main thing we gather from an alpha is the feel of the game, not necessarily, you know, map design and, you know, how things play out. The alpha is literally just to get a feel and to get acquainted with the game, and it's done a good job of doing that. Yeah, overall I just think the game feels solid. There are some issues, but I'm sure they'll iron them out for the beta, if not for the launch of the game. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you are new around here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.